it's good to be back. Thank you so much for holding forth, Soji. It's been a while that I broadcast, and seems as if the problem I had the last time hasn't quite gone away. I still have an echo at the background, and clearly we haven't been able to solve that. When I broadcast again, we won't have that problem. Anyway, I hope you've all been well. Baraka de Salah to everyone, and especially to our Muslim family. I hope you had a good time. I'm waiting for my ram for those of you in Lagos. I'm waiting for you to send me my fried ram. I love that. Okay, so if this is your first time of joining us, you're welcome to Ask Chioma Anything Tuesday night live. We broadcast on Facebook, we broadcast on YouTube Live, and we broadcast, you can watch the video later on either of these platforms. But you can join our community. You can join our community on Facebook. You can join our mailing list by going to www.enterpriseexperts.com. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you can set the notification button so every time that we have a video, you are notified. Okay, so yes, tonight we have three questions. And they're very exciting questions. So the first one talks about, ma'am, I'm thinking of selling my business. What things should I consider before doing that? The second question talks about business culture. How did I establish my business culture and how have I maintained it? And then the third question talks about, are you of the school of thought that every young person must have a 9-to-5 experience before becoming an entrepreneur? Right, so I'm going to dive right into the first question about selling your business. I don't know who sent in this question. If you're thinking of selling your business, what things should you consider before doing that? Okay, so the first question I would ask you to consider very carefully is, why are you selling your business? Are you selling it to realize money from it, profit? And, do you want to go and do other things? Do you want to just make a huge profit? Do you want to pursue other things? Are there things that you're keen on pursuing? And will the money from the sale of your business help you pursue them? So those are the kind of things that should initially be on your mind. Then you must consider valuing your business, because of course whoever you're thinking about selling it to would definitely value it. So it's important that you do a valuation, and that valuation is done realistically. You don't you don't value it emotionally. You actually take yourself out of the equation and think, if I was going to buy this business, what kind of valuation would I be giving it? Not because you want to sell it and you're considering all the pain, all the trouble you had in running it and in establishing it. No, think about it from the buyer's perspective. Now, also consider the state the business is in. Is it in a viable state? Have you kept your records correctly? Is it easy for anyone who comes in to understand what you've been doing? Have you been paying your taxes? Is it in a pretty state to attract the right kind of suitor? So once you've got all these things together, then ask yourself, so what next? What happens after you make a sale? What are you going to be doing with yourself? Does a sale include, during the negotiations for the sale, would you consider staying on as part of the business to run it? Would you want that? Would you want to be answerable to other people in a business that you set up? You have to be really pragmatic. You've got to be really realistic, practical when you're trying to sell your business. You must ensure that you're not talking to only one buyer. You've got to have many suitors. You've got to have many people interested. You've got to make it as exciting as possible. You've got to have a pitch for wanting to sell. And of course, you must be very, very clear about the kind of people you want to buy your business. So you should do some research, some background check on them as well. As they are doing on you, you should also be doing on them. So you must be very sure that they're the right kind of people you want in your business, especially, most especially, if you plan to stay on to run the business over a period and then hand it over to them. Now, what are the conditions of purchase that you would consider? Would you consider an outright purchase, so you just sell it and you move on? Or would you consider a purchase that necessitates that you stay on? What age are you at? What would you be able to do after you've sold the business? Would you be able to find other jobs, or would you be able to start another business, or would you want to retire at that point? What would you do with the money? So these are the questions that you need to consider. You also need to consider the state of the economy, the economic cycle. Is it a good time to be selling a business? If you waited a little bit, would you get a bit more money for it? So these are the things that you need to consider. I hope that has answered your question somewhat. Then the other questions are a bit of an opinion question. So the first one is business culture. How did you establish your business culture, and how have you maintained it? First of all, what is my business culture? For me, my business culture is honesty. It's a platform that allows for open, honest discussions. So in my organization, everyone is required, mandated to be honest about everything. So you can make your mistakes and you can get corrected. Um, we don't we allow errors, we allow mistakes. What we do not allow is dishonesty, a lack of integrity, um, you know, a culture that promotes passing the buck. We like people to own up to whatever it is that they've done. If they made a mistake, we correct it and we move on, and the person learns a lesson from it. The other part of our culture is that it's very relaxed, it's very flattish in structure. Everybody's opinion counts. Everybody has something important that they can contribute. So that's the open nature of my organization. And we live it every day. We live it every day in that we don't have meetings where we talk to people. No, we have everybody's input is important and everybody's contributions are valid. And we encourage and, in fact, reward such contributions. There is no idea that you bring forth that is looked at as stupid. No. So we how have you maintained it? By just continuing to do the same thing. So everyone that joins the organization knows that here is a place you're allowed to be as expressive, take initiative as much as you want, make the mistakes and be corrected, and continue. And you are not thrown in jail because you've made a mistake. Okay, so the third question is, are you of the school of thought that every young person must have a 9 to 5 experience before becoming an entrepreneur? I'm not of any school of thought. I do, however, believe that a 9 to 5 experience could be very helpful. Okay, it could be very helpful in running a business. When you start a business and you run a business without any prior experience, you fight many more. Um, you don't anticipate many things, and so many things come at you, and you will make a lot of mistakes. And sometimes it can be a very costly lesson to learn. But when you've had a bit of experience, it kind of prepares you. If it prepares you for the challenges ahead. It prepares you for the triumphs, for the downtimes that you're likely to have and experience in that business. But having said that, I have my immediate younger brother. He never worked for anybody in his life. He started out his life as an entrepreneur. He started out his life as a medical doctor, running, buying into a hospital and running it. And he's running. He's made his mistakes. He had his challenges, but he succeeded. He's been very successful as a medical doctor, and so it's not an impossible thing. But I just think it's a harder journey to, or harder way to go. So I hope these have answered your questions. And I hope that you found tonight's session quite interesting. As I did. Thank you for joining in. And I would please ask that if any of this was exciting for you, if any of this encouraged you or taught you anything, kindly do me a favor. Pass on the video to someone else and ask them to join our network. We would really appreciate it very, very much. And so you can find us on Enterprise Experts on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and join us every Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday, and I promise not to be away for as long as I've been. All the best. Have a good evening. Good night.